Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte and this is my channel D30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. This will be some sort of a response of a question I have received on Facebook by Thomas, I think it's Ebelborn, I hope I have the name right. He wants to run games for kids and he knows, I say it quite often on my channel that I do that. And yeah, he wants some tips. Well, he said that he was to search through my videos to find videos that I talk about it. In my English part of my channel, yeah, I talk about it once in a while, but not in an official form. I do include my kids' role-playing game tips in recaps of something I did, for my job at the library. And I have my Hero Kids review, but there are no real tips there. And in my French part of the channel, I have more complete videos of me rambling about what I'm doing. So I'll try to do the same. It's all improvised, so it's a big ramble, and it's just based on my experience so far. Have I done it right or not? It's up to you to judge, but yeah, I will just share here what I'm doing. Just to put you in context, I have not been educated in child psychology or to be a teacher or all that. I've been working with children at the library for 10 years, from children from 18 months through teenagers. Doing all sorts of activities surrounding reading. So I've learned by myself. I have made my trials and errors throughout all those years, and it's been 25 years since I've been I'm a music teacher, private music teacher. So in a one-on-one basis, I have encountered many kids. So I've learned, by myself. So it's just to qualify the value of what I'm going to say here. Okay, role-playing for kids. Let's go with the game choice. There are obviously many role-playing games on the market that are been made for kids. It depends on what you want to bring around the table, but I hope that you won't bring something difficult. Okay, you can go into difficult plots or difficult adventures. I will come back for this, but first of all, the game system has to be simple. Okay, if you are dealing with younger kids, I think you already know that I chose Hero Kids. Hero Kids is very simple. Okay, you have a die pool every time you do an action, and you choose the highest dice. These are D6. So there's no additions there, no subtractions, no formulas. It just choose the highest dice, which is fine for younger kids. And from my experience, 5-year-old kids knows how it works. Okay, they can say, hey, this is the highest dice. They can recognize it. So for them, it's cool. Hero Kids is a choice. There are many choices. You can just go and drive through RPGs, and there are many games that are offered there. For older kids, well, you can think about more complicated, difficult role-playing games, but you have to water them down. From age 8 and over, okay, you can consider if you want Dungeons and Dragons, but you have to water it down a lot. In my opinion, I think if you want to go with something similar to Dungeons and Dragons, you should consider retro clones. Okay, basic fantasy, maybe white box. Okay, well, white box, I say you need something that has options. Okay, that can be very colorful. I've heard about No Thank You Evil, made by Monty Cook. I can't say a thing about it because I don't know what it is. I saw the box often in gaming stores. I haven't bought it, so I can't talk about it. But maybe you can check some reviews. Well, I have checked some reviews. They seem quite positive about the game, so maybe it's worth checking this out. So you have to keep it simple for the game rule system. I think it's obvious, and you have to keep the results of the dice very open-ended. Okay, anything can happen, and the game system has to serve the kids' imagination. Okay, they want something that is as hot and cool than what they are seeing on television. Okay, usually the heroes they love, the shows they're watching on TV, every heroes are defying the laws of physics. So your game system should be in service of that. Okay, it should be open-ended. Okay, just as maybe a Hero Kids example, which is something easy for me to do. Okay, you can say, if you can have the kids, okay, kids has an intention of doing something really totally crazy, but well, in this scene it could be cool. Okay, it doesn't break the scene or the tone of what you're trying to do. You know, you're playing super heroic adventure, and the kid says, with my super strength I want to throw the building. Okay, well, it's very difficult. Just say to him, well, you have to get me a 6. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of chance that he might get a 6 in this die pool, but at least you have set the difficulty, and the dice will talk and will say, yes, what you were intending to do works. But you have to be open-minded, because in Mutants and Mastermind you wouldn't be able to throw the building if your character doesn't have the appropriate strength. Yeah, when we're adults, you know, we want those kind of restrictions because it makes the world more real in our adult view of it. But kids don't want that. Don't want that. Don't want those restrictions. They want to be as cool as what they see on television. So the game system has to serve them. It has to be simple and open-ended. Right. The kind of adventure. Well, let's talk about the length of an adventure. Depend on the age of the kids. The younger the kids, the shorter the adventure should be. Okay. Well, 4 years old, expect to have no more than 2 players, in my opinion, because they like to be a little more one-on-one. They have to be guided. Okay, to make the, you know, to keep them hooked in what you're doing, and you have to maybe 15 minutes, 5-6 year old, 30 minutes, 45 minutes on the most. 6, 7, 8 years old, well, you can expect maybe 1 hour, but that will be over. Don't go beyond 1 hour. They won't follow you by the end of that. When they get 9-year-old and older, well, you can do longer. You know, I've been able with 9-year-old kids to do, well, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. But yes, of course, 10, 11, 12 years old, well, they can go easily through the 3 hours and more. You know, they're ready to have more at that age. That's for the length. And if you have a wide range of age of kids, if you can group them, you know, my groups that I'm making at my job, I have the 5 through 8 years old together and the 9 through 12 years old together, and these are groups of age that is manageable. Okay, the 8 years old can tolerate the 5 years old, and it's easy. You know, you can get through the adventure with that group of age. Well, it may happen that you have a 5 through 12 years old group, so you have to ask the older kids to be tolerant towards the younger ones. The younger ones will be more demanding because you will have to grab their attention more. you will have to entertain them more. Yeah. The kind of adventure, I think that's where I was supposed to go now. No difficult plots. I think it's obvious, but no, it has to be black or white. You know, there are the goods, there are the evils. Okay, the evils are having evil mannerism. Okay, unless they are hiding their game and they play the nice ones, but there must be some hints at some point that they are the bad guys and the heroes will unmask them. Okay, so but no gray zone here. Okay, that's because the kids, one of the things that they love is to hit stuff. Okay, they want to hit the stuff. They want to know when to roll the dice and swing their sword. So if you bring something that is ambiguous, they won't know what to do with it that much. Okay, and I'm talking with experience there, but often it will end up as they will hit it. So it has to be, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, and the bad guys, they are the one you will fight. Okay, so this has to be clear like that. And this is very simple type of adventure. Save the princess. Okay, go chase the dragon. Okay, so this is go fight the evil wizard. Okay, that is the kind of adventure that is to be expected, especially with the younger ones. Okay. What else? You have to be very entertaining, especially kids. Often this will be their first time experience in role-playing games. So you have to offer them choices. Okay, like a choose your own adventure book. Doesn't have to be like that every time. But when you see after 3 seconds that they are not reacting, offer them choices. Well, you can either do that or that, unless you have a better idea. That's the way I simply present it. At first, newcomers will be very shy. They won't say a thing. They are waiting for the game to run them. Okay, they're waiting for the moment when we say roll the dice. Okay, but if you are engaging them, offering them choices, and having interesting outcomes, whether these are positive or negative outcomes, if it's interesting, they will within the first session be engaged. Usually it works. It's not 100% true, but I think it's at least 80% true. If I have 10 kids that within, you know, the last 10 newcomers that I may have, 8 out of 10 were highly excited by the end of the game, and they were, well, I didn't need to make them choices by the end. They were able to make their own choice. Even the younger ones, they were able to, you know, get engaged and get some autonomy in the game. They were understanding the game rules. Well, this was Hero Kids or whatever other games I was using. So yeah, but you have to be entertaining. You have to be with them. You have to do a show for them. Okay, you are the game master, but with that you take them by the hand when you begin. Well, younger kids, you know, 4 or 5 years old, maybe you'll have to do that longer. But just, you have to cheer with them for every success that they have. You have to react when they fail. Oh no! Okay, you have to be with them when those things happen. What else? What else can I say? I'm sure I will forget stuff, but nevertheless, if for some reason the group splits, because at some point the kids will realize that they are free to do whatever they want. Okay, you know, it's a role-playing game, so they will want to explore the world, and they will want to have your attention. So, well, even if they are group or not, every kids want your attention for, you know, they want to have the game master for themselves. And it's more true when they split. They want to have their own scene. Well, you can suggest that they don't do that. Never split the party. But don't force them to listen to you. You have to explain them the consequence in game, out of game, of what he's doing. You know, okay, I will take a couple of moments with you, but at some point I will go play with the other players there. Okay, you should try to avoid to make kids wait. If the party splits, go with one action or two with the one of the part of the party, you know, and get to the other one. You have to switch between both sides of the party and try to find ways to regroup them, some reasons to do that. Okay, let's say one of the splitted part gets involved in a combat. Well, you can describe for the other part, well, you hear a sound of combat and you think it's your friend. So that may be a way to give to encourage the other part to join the fight, so they will come back. That is an example like that. But you have to be quick between scenes, between the splitted party. Okay, and when you're not with the group, the active group, well, talk to them. Okay, make comments while looking at them. It works for me. Okay, let's say the active party is going to they have to roll the dice for something critical. Just before the dice are rolled, you look at the other part, that is not active, and says, do you think they will succeed? And yeah, they will participate as viewers of what is going on. So it will help keep them engaged. Because if you don't care for them for a certain amount of time, they will just get out of the game and do something else. They will get silly. They will be trying to make acrobats on their own chair. They will run around the table. They will want to drink water, and but if you try to get them engaged, okay, you have to do it. That's a job. The same for combat. Combat, it's like splitting a party if you think about it, because you have to you are with one player. What are you doing? And sometimes combat, even in Hero Kids, takes a little longer for every dice rolls. So yeah, you have to think about how to manage that. Okay, in Hero Kids there's no initiative. Okay, that's the game master's call. So it's a good way there for the game master to pace when a player can be back. If you know that the player might be can unhook from the adventure easily, well, you can come back to him a little more often in the combat, just to make sure. You can make them act their combat moves. Yeah, you want to swing the sword? Hey, stand up. Show me how you do this. And yeah, you can see the kid, moving his arm. Or show me how you shoot the bow. Okay, that you make them move. Okay, you can make them stand up and act their stuff. I've heard, if needed, let them take a break. Okay, sometimes it may unhook. Okay, sometimes one of the kids will do a goofy stuff and all the other kids will laugh, and they will forget that they are around the table making role-playing games. Okay, they will forget about that. They will just have their attention on the goofy thing that has no relation with why they are there. Well, let them have their laugh. You can say to them, okay, we'll come back in 5 minutes. Let them go to the toilet, okay? And try to come back. It may work, it may not work. I know that I will miss lots of details. What I wanted to say, well, pre-gens is quite cool with kids. character creation, unless you know that you're going to play with those kids on more regularly. I think pre-gens does it quite well. You know, Hero Kids offers quite lots of pre-gens that are very cool. You know, very typical of what the kids loves in fiction. So yeah, you have lots of choice there. What else? Miniatures, okay? Theater of the mind, even if someone is a fan of theater of the mind, involves that you speak a lot, okay? And sometimes for description, you need to use more complicated words. And yeah, this can unhook the kids. You know, use miniatures. Paper miniatures does it fine, okay? It's just a way for the kids to have a visual representation of what they're doing. So even if you're a fan of theater of the mind, well, use miniatures with kids. That's what will work the best. It will just go along with your description, and lots of, you know, it will avoid you lots of description. And they like to play with figures, okay? Let's face it. They love to play with little figures and all that. So yeah, remember that they're just kids, and the subject of your adventure should be should be adapted to that. Violence, yeah, in real life violence is not cool, but they will, if you're going into a fantasy role-playing game, well, there will be violence. But yeah, you know, they usually a defeated monster is just someone who is hurt enough to go away, or is just stunned, okay? There's no blood involved, there's no open guts, okay? Nothing gory. Is just, okay, out of combat, okay? And the kids, and Hero Kids, if I take that example, they don't die. They just get out of combat. So it happened that some of the kids, you know, some of the groups I had finished in a TPK, but TPK means that they are captured and the adventure begins elsewhere. Yeah, well, and you will see that some kids want to do it solo, and they think that in combat they can overcome everything. Yeah, they want to be as cool as the character they see, but yeah, even though the game system has to serve their imagination, it has to show them limits. So they have to make decisions with that if they realize that they can't do the combat alone. A situation that I saw often was, you know, when a character was down, there was no one to heal him. Okay, they were continuing the combat, and I saw it often. You know, maybe let's say a group of 4-player characters, three of them are down. The solution, easy solution, was at least to heal one of them, and the combat will have been at least easier. No, the lonely character was continuing the combat. Well, thinking that he could succeed, but yeah, that's where TPK happened. But don't make TPK something dramatic. Just some sort of a lesson of, well, maybe you should have done, you should have healed your character. Maybe you should have tried to work in a team, which is a very good lesson for life. If you are someone who are running games for kids, well, let me know in the comments. Make videos. Point me to some resources, blogs, videos that are talking about this, because I'm very interested in the subject. I'm still learning about how to do it. What I've shared there is as a big share of, well, brings lots of success to what I'm trying to do at the library. But I know that there are many techniques to hook them even more, hook the kids that they will want to come back even more. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts here. And the description below, if I think about it, I may share some videos or blogs. If I don't, just remind me. But there are many resources that I've been watching that have been interesting. And yeah, so that was my ramble. Long ramble, but there's so much to say about this subject. Maybe someday I'll do a real video series, how to roleplay with kids with, a 5-minute subject every time. Maybe someday. We'll see. François Letarte, JDR D30, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.